Over the last 3 years, this entryway went from being a rather wasted space to a room I actually use. When I moved in, there already was a huge wardrobe standing here, as well as the fridge. I didn't really question this setup, but the wardrobe was missing hanging space, so I added two clothing racks to the staircase landing. And for a while, my e-scooter was still here too. It was functional, but very cluttered. I didn't try to improve it for a long time because the layout is difficult. There are hardly any real walls, mostly doors and awkward corners. There isn't much light, and the grey vinyl floor makes everything feel cold and old. So I treated it like a hallway, not a room. This only changed when I moved into a capsule wardrobe and decluttered everything. For the first time, this space could be more than just a hallway. It could actually function as a room. But there was still a long way ahead of me to get there, and it took a lot of trial and error. The first thing I tried was putting two clothing racks on the same wall, separated by the door. It looked very tidy, but it turned the entire room into an oversized, impractical walk-in closet. That's when I realized I needed to create zones. The entryway, where you come in, the passageway that connects between the rooms, and the wardrobe area with the clothes and where I can get changed. And maybe in future even a little relaxation zone where my partner or I could retreat to if we didn't want to both be sitting in the living room. I didn't have many options besides working with rugs and the racks I already had, so I started trying different layouts. First, I tried to create a proper entrance by placing one rack on the left as you come in, creating a kind of corridor that lets you arrive in the space. In theory, it worked. But because the wall of the corridor was made of clothing racks, you walked in with clothes right next to you. It felt cluttered and strange, and it wasn't very welcoming. After that, I moved the racks into an L shape, and this was the first setup that started to work. It created a wardrobe zone while still leaving space for an entry and a passage through the rooms. For the first time, the room had a bit of structure. It was still a bit clunky though. The two racks didn't really belong together and just somehow stood there in the middle of the room. So the next change was adding a divider and a chair. This was the first time the space actually felt calm and pleasant to sit in. The divider created a proper second zone, and with the chair, the room wasn't just something you passed through anymore. I actually enjoyed sitting there. But it also introduced a new problem: light. In addition to the big wardrobe already blocking a lot of light, the divider now blocked light too. So I decided to move the wardrobe to the other side of the room and put the clothing rack where the wardrobe stood before. I also reduced my wardrobe a bit more, so now we were down to only one clothing rack. In addition, I moved the seating area facing the entrance, and that works quite well and feels very welcoming. It's still not perfect. I'd like the seating area to feel a bit more like its own zone, but for now I'm quite happy. And compared to where it started, it feels like a real win. We now have two small spaces where we can sit, read or knit. The wardrobe fits in well and looks quite stylish, and the space overall feels welcoming when you enter the home. Finally, all of it just feels much more in harmony with the rest of the flat than it used to. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you have any ideas what else could be tweaked, feel free to leave a comment.